the BBC. Sorry, but that's the truth of it. But when you do, you come across two assumptions that they make on the BBC. One, we all support Israel. That's just assumed. Two, we believe what Israel says. Whenever you hear an Israeli spokesperson, you realise that they seem to believe that they're the only people with morals and standards and correct behaviour, while the Palestinians are just terrorists with no moral code. Let's look at this from the point of view of the medical profession, trying to care for the sick. This is a story about a particular Palestinian British doctor, Professor Hassan Abu Sita, who trained in Glasgow and whom I met last year. He's a surgeon, specialising in reconstructive work, and he's become known as the man who fixes broken faces. He went to Gaza to work in surgery after the bombing started. Normally he works in West London. Because his family used to own land in the area near Gaza, they knew he'd want to go. But they didn't think that while he was away, the UK anti-terrorism police would go around to his house, where his wife and 3 sons live, to ask who he was working for, who paid for his ticket, and so on. He could have a much more comfortable life here in England, obviously, than operating Al-Shifa Hospital with its power outages, shortage of anaesthetics, overwhelming numbers, and, oh yes, bombs falling, and soldiers in tanks at the gates. Now, like every doctor in the UK, Dr. Abu Sita took what's known as the Hippocratic Oath. At its simplest, a doctor promises to do no harm and to provide the best and most appropriate care available to each of my students. So, how is this done in Israel? Well, according to Marwan Bishara in Mondovais, over 90 Israeli doctors calling themselves Doctors for the Rights of IDF Soldiers have issued a statement in Hebrew, not in English, urging the bombing of any and every hospital in Gaza. They argue that due to the suspicion of terrorist activity, the hospitals are a legitimate target for annihilation. Now, I hope there are many doctors in Israel who won't support this line, but is it just a coincidence that the Lancet reports, a prestigious UK medical journal, reports that since October 7th, 191 healthcare workers have been killed in Gaza. 200 healthcare facilities, hospitals, clinics, ambulances have been attacked and damaged. Of these medical workers killed, 16 were killed while on duty. Many emergency service workers for the Gaza Civil Defence have been killed, and one fact for the young parents here to remember, in all this, 180 women a day on average are giving birth to babies in these conditions. In addition, the Wall Street Journal, and I'm telling you where I'm getting these things from because it's important, they need to be true, and they are. The Wall Street Journal reports that as of yesterday, 101 United Nations workers have been killed. The highest single number of UN casualties in any combat zone. There were teachers, nurses, doctors, support staff helping in the hospitals. 47 of the UN buildings have been damaged. So, what allows the British, American and Israeli governments to dare to preach to the rest of the world about doing the right thing? How dare they suggest that they act with honour while everyone else can't be trusted? How dare they suggest that killing children is a method of self-defense. Sometimes, when you're involved in a situation, you're not sure you're right. Right? You've any sense, you think about it, you're not sure. This isn't one of them. We need to keep doing what we're doing. There is no honourable alternative. Thank you.